Introducing first, making his way to the blue corner, Felix El Gato Njie.
A couple of undefeated amateurs in our next bout, both hailing from the capital city of Wisconsin, as Felix Njie coming in with a record of 1-0 as he is being checked out right now. I do have to say, from our last fight, I'm actually kind of impressed here. So I've seen all kinds of cages. The mat here for Chosen Few Fighting Championships is a black mat. One of the nice things about it, and it's kind of semi-porous, is that you don't see the blood in the cage as you continue all night long. I've been at some promotions and some events where it's a white, kind of mat, and then you see the blood all night long. This is a little bit better, not having to see the remnants of it.
Yeah, the black canvas, it's black for a reason with that, right?
Yeah, it really does a nice job. So far, that canvas tonight has taken on puke, it has taken on blood, it has taken on a ton of sweat as well. We'll see what else there, I guess, in the way of bodily fluids. Hopefully we don't see any other bodily fluids, but sweat and blood the rest of the night as Njie is getting the final check, as he will head on up to the cage. There he goes, smiling along the way. There is Felix Njie. Now we will also hear or get to check out Ryan Stevens.
And his opponent making his way to the red corner, Ryan Iron Hammer Stevens.
There he comes, Ryan Stevens, known as the Iron Hammer, and his shirt saying strike first, strike last. Maybe kind of an homage to Cobra Kai. Strike first, strike hard. Strike first, strike last, also a good one, as Stevens saying hi to all of his coaches. You see the victorious Anthony Welch still smiling in the background. I don't think the smile left Anthony Welch's face all night long. He was smiling before he got in the cage, smiling while he was in the cage, and smiling afterwards. It's a perma-grin on the face of Anthony Welch.
For sure. We got another guy coming out of the Blast gym here in Madison. It's a smaller gym. Obviously, they're known for their Muay Thai. Their striking is phenomenal. We saw it earlier in the evening with Anthony Welch. But I'm excited to see, what Stevens brings to the cage.
Ryan Stevens at 2-0 as we check out the tail of the tape on these two fighters for this one. Stevens with a couple of inch advantage in height on Felix Njie. Both fighters in at 185 pounds, and Stevens a very spry 6'1" up in the cage.
This is the sixth bout of the evening. Three-minute amateur MMA rounds. Brought to you by Combat Corner. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. He stands 5 feet 11 inches tall, weighing in at 185 pounds. Fighting out of Madison, Wisconsin, representing Third Heaven MMA, Felix El Gato Njie. And his opponent standing across the cage, fighting out of the red corner. He stands 6 feet 2 inches tall, weighed in at 185 pounds. Fighting out of Madison, Wisconsin, representing the Blast MMA, Ryan Iron Hammer Stevens.
Stevens 2-0. Njie a perfect 1-0. Someone's O must go here in our sixth bout of the evening. It has been a night of quick fights so far, with only one making it into the early stages of the second round. We'll see if that streak continues right now. Njie starting with a front kick, now also hitting the chin of Stevens, both with a right and a left, coming back with another kick. Both fighters doing some striking here in the early going of round number one. Kind of a feeling out process right now as Stevens chasing Njie around the cage and finally is able to catch him right at the door We'll see if the door is able to withstand this. I've seen doors that actually have opened in these situations before. It doesn't here as Stevens is going to go ahead and get the takedown, but then it's Njie who quickly gets the reversal.
Yeah, right away he gets to the side control, and now he's in the north-south position. Let's see if he can do anything with the submission attempt here.
Stevens here using his right hand to hit Njie at least in the face, so he's able to get some damage, and Njie very smartly then gets his face over and out of harm's way.
Yeah, so he's worked his way back into half guard right now, and well, looks like he might be advancing if he can get his leg out.
And this is one of those spots, like if you're not familiar with what's going on, it seems to me guys will talk about like footwork and where their leg positioning is and all that. And right now, speaking of positioning, you don't want to have somebody on your back. And I know that much, and that means that Njie is in a lot of problems as soon as he gave his back up to Stevens.
Stevens did a good job there of taking the back, almost got the rear naked choke, landed some ground and pound.
So Njie, a nice job also wiggling his way out of some trouble. Both fighters doing some damage here in round number 1, and both have been in dominant position so far. Both have been in a bit of trouble. And this first round that's kind of gone back and forth right now as we get to the final minute of this first round. Good pace and another takedown by Stevens.
And it looks like he's got the arm in guillotine here attempt. You know, sometimes on these submission attempts like this, especially when they're young in their amateur careers, they really crank on them and it kind of blows their arms out. He's really looking to lock this in. It's a hard position to finish, and yeah, he's out.
Yeah, Stevens did get out, and now he's in almost a ground and pound kind of spot, but Njie able to get him off of there, and now has to try to find a way to get back up on his feet. And Stevens is going to allow it. I think Stevens wants to get back to doing some striking here and trading blows with Njie. Good first round. Good kick. Just missed being flush, but Njie going down anyways, and Stevens now acting quickly to get on top. Final 10 seconds here. Njie will last the round as he was in trouble, and maybe a good job by Stevens to get the 10-9 decision in round number 1. So a good first round. We're back for round number 2 right after this on Television Wisconsin. First round had a good pace to it. Both fighters were able to do some damage as we check out action from the aforementioned round number 1, as a nice job by Stevens to act quickly here. This was right towards the end of the first round to get Njie down, but then pounce quickly. And sometimes in a close round, that could steal it in the judge's eyes. Yeah, for sure. I mean, that was a very competitive round, really close. I would give the round to Stevens. Also interesting, Stevens opted not to take the stool in between rounds. Felix did. That could be some maybe potential cardio concerns. So round 2, we'll see how it goes. Njie actually getting caught here in a spot where you don't want to get caught. I was going to say, you know, Njie kind of came out and had his mouth open. A lot of times that's not a good sign of conditioning. And now, to make matters much worse, he takes a shot. Njie with a little gamesmanship, looks like he's ready, and we are back to action here at Monona Terrace. Crowd likes that too. Stevens is going to continue with those kicks towards the midsection now with a left hand. Njie swinging wildly here is going to take a shot to the chops there on a left. Another kick there by Stevens. Stevens better be careful as well. Sometimes he hangs his chin out there a little too long. Njie just missed a shot right there as both guys now will kind of grapple here in the center of the cage. You know, both guys are landing some really solid and heavy low kicks there, and tomorrow's not going to be fun to walk for these guys. Yeah, that'll definitely add up. I've seen that really slow fighters down, and sometimes fighters not taking advantage of doing that. And you'll also see some guys kind of chop other guys down by continuing with those low kicks. And so right now, it is Stevens kind of imposing his will here in round number 2, using his knees, using some of those low kicks as well. Njie kind of holding on, and a takedown there by Stevens. It's a good position for Stevens right here. He's going to be, you know, in front of his corner, so he's going to get some good instruction.
He's working from half guard position right here. If he can pull that leg out and get to the full mount, he could really do some damage on Felix.
Stevens at this point tenderizing the side of Njie with his right hand. And if Njie doesn't do anything to stop it, you might as well continue to do it. Now also using the left to hit Njie in the side of the head as well. So all of this scoring right now for Ryan Stevens. Njie in a bit of trouble here in the second round. Caught a shot to the groin early on, used his 5 minutes.
There's the
and now ground and pound, and Njie in all kinds of trouble is able to get
up
over
his back.
Yeah, giving up your back, a bad spot here for Njie to be in.
Looks like Felix is trying to fight the hands a little bit here. He's doing a nice job. There we go. And that's under the chin, it looks like, with 30 seconds left. That's going to be all she wrote. Yep.
Big trouble there, and that's it. He taps out. Nothing he could do from there. Ryan Stevens, dominant in a 2-round victory, gets the rear naked choke and gets the ovation from the crowd as well. Well earned, and a good fight for Stevens, who now improves to a perfect 3-0 in his amateur career. We'll be back, take a look at the replay, and get the official word right after this on Television Wisconsin.
Referee Tom Davalos has called a halt to this contest. 2 minutes, 33 seconds of the second round, declaring your winner by rear naked choke, Ryan Iron Hammer Stevens.
The Iron Hammer didn't use hammer blows, instead a rear naked choke to finish off Felix Njie and improve to 3-0 in his young career. Let's take a look at the ending of the fight in action from round number 2. As you call it, Peter, he got that arm underneath the chin, and that was all she wrote.
I mean, sometimes when it's on the, they can finish it when it's on the chin, but when it's under there, it's only a matter of time. If there's 10 seconds left, you can try and hold on and wait for the bell, but 30, 40 seconds left, and you're going to be napping.
Absolutely, and so a win for Stevens. Again, improves to 3-0. We'll move on to our next fight right after this.